guys, how are you? This is Deb with Four Seasons Scraps. I guess you're in this group, so you probably already know that. I am actually moved where I film into our daughter's room because she's away at school. So there's a little bit of clutter. I'm not quite there yet as far as getting everything arranged, but so excited to be doing this 12 days of Christmas throughout October. So the plan is that we will meet in this group. I don't have enough followers on the page, and so I can't do them there. That's where I would prefer to do it, but we just don't have enough people, and that's okay. This is perfect. So if you know of anyone, please be sure to invite them to this group, and that way they can see the videos as well. They probably will end up on YouTube. It's got to get all that worked out as well. So I am. We are going to do 12 days. So we're going to meet Friday, Saturday, and Sunday each week in October. So tonight we're going to focus on the Snowy Wonder bundle, and we're going to make 3 projects, 2 cards and a 3D project. So we're going to get started right away. So how it's going to work is, if you're part of my team, you are going to get those recipe cards or tutorials on Monday after I do the three videos. So video 1, 2, and 3, you're going to get those. If you place an order, I will mail them to you via email. So I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do one project that I'll just put in the mailing list. We'll figure that out. But right now, place an order. You're going to get the tutorials for the projects that I've shown. And again, we're doing 3 a day. So that's going to equal up to obviously 36, right? By the time we finish it. So the other thing we're going to do, so I'm going to do 1 3D project, 1 fun fold, and then we are going to do 1 card using these templates at the bottom in the annual catalog. So that is on page 22. So that's the plan. So I'm super excited. So we will go ahead and I'm going to move the camera down. So if you get a little motion sick, I know I do, you'll want to move away. So let me go ahead and do that. And we will flip the camera around here. Always exciting. There we go. So we'll move that down a little bit. You are actually facing just the desk there and can avoid all the clutter. Haha. All right. Okay. So there we go. So we are going to get started right away. So the first thing we are going to make is the 3D project, because this one's a little more, I don't want to say complicated, I guess. But it's not hard. It's just knowing the right measurements and the steps. But it actually can be mailed in the mail, and it's a little shaker card, and it pops up, so it stands just like that. So you can send that to someone, and they can enjoy. See if you guys can see the little snowflakes inside. All right, so there we go. So let's get started on that one. So what we have, or what we're going to need, let me grab, I'm going to show you these papers because they have all the measurements on it, and you can take kind of a picture of that, and that will make it a little bit, hopefully a little bit easier for you. So you're going to need 2 pieces that are 1 3/4 by 6 1/2, and then on that long side, you're going to score them at 1 3/4, 4, and 5 7/8. And then you're going to have 2 pieces, these 2 pieces that are 5 inches by 4 1/4. So if I turn this over, that's what you need. 2 pieces that are 5 inches and 4 1/4. And that is going to get scored on the 5-inch side at 1/4 inch, 1 3/4, 3 1/4, and 4 3/4. And you score on both of them. And then I'm going to show you this now, but it might not mean too much to you, but you are going to measure 1 inch in and then put a little dot on that first score line. And then we're going to make some diagonal cuts. And I'm going to just say, sometimes I really don't like when I have to get out something and actually measure it, but it was not as hard, or even as, it's not complicated at all. So I think I'm just maybe a little lazy and don't want to do that. So those are the pieces. And then you're going to need 4 squares of 1.5 by 1 5/8, and then 2 squares that are 2 inches and 1 1/2. So let me just see if I can get this down just a little bit more. There we go. All right. So what we're going to do, so I'm going to move all this out of the way, and we are going to take the pieces that I actually put together that's part of the snowy days, and we are going to pull those in. Now, these 2 pieces, I already have scored those, the small pieces here. I'm going to bring over a little bit more light for us. These 2 pieces I've already scored, and then I already have as well cut out those small squares just to save us some time. Now, some other pieces you're going to need is you are going to use the dies to make these round pieces that are going to go around our globe. And let me explain how you do that. You're basically going to take this die that comes with the set of dies. So you get a whole bunch. You get all these dies. You get domes, and they actually cut out the designer series paper. But this one, you're going to lay it on your cardstock, and then you are going to take a circle die. And of course, I forgot to bring that one with me. But you're going to take a circle die, and you're just going to put it right in the middle of your globe die. So you're just going to lay it down, put a circle in there, run it through the die cut machine, and then you're going to do that twice. So you get a front and a back of your globe. And that's all there is to this. That's all there is. You could even take a punch. So I brought in a circle punch, so I could do the exact same thing you can see, and just do a circle punch and punch that through. Just make sure you're watching your borders. So either way works great. All right, so that's what you're going to do there. Then you're also going to do the same thing with a window sheet. So this is going to give us the shaker part of our card. You can't see it because it's a window sheet, but there we go. So this is what we're going to need to allow us to kind of put it all together. Now, with our designer paper, so in this designer paper pack here, and even if you don't have the dies, you guys, well, I guess you need the dies eventually because you'll need them to cut out the globe, but the dies actually cut out this part of the circle globes, and then those that are the dome, it does the same thing. You just lay that right on there, and it will cut out that dome piece. And then if you want the bottom piece, you have this little die, and you can put it right there. So I want to show you a quick trick here, just briefly, because I took the dome die, and we want to keep this piece here connected to our dome. So one of the things you can do when you lay your die down is just take your die plate, and let me just show you just real quickly here. But if you just take your die plate, and you can do this with any die, you lay this down, and then put your plate so that it rests right on the edge. So like this. So I'm going to put my plate so it's right above this last cut. And when I roll it through, it won't cut this right here. And again, we want to keep that connected. And I will show you why here in just a minute. Which means all we have to do then is cut this one part off here. So I'm just going to take it right along the edge and snip that right off there and do the same thing over here. Now, we're not going to see any of this right here, so that's as good as it needs to be. Okay. All right. So now what we need to do is I need to show you how to do the score lines on this longer piece. Remember, we need 2 pieces that are 5 by 4 1/4. So I wanted to show you a tip. So instead of slicing this down the middle and getting our 2 halves, we're going to score it when we have one full half sheet. And I'm going to just bring this in here. We're going to lay it, oops, yeah, right down. This is going to be our 4 1/4 side. So this is considered our long side. So we're going to take our scoring tool and we're going to go ahead and score at 1/4 inch, 1 3/4, 3 1/4. Make sure I get that right. And then 4 3/4. And there we go. 4 3/4. There we go. So now we have our score lines across all of our card. And we'll just pop that over there. And now we are going to just cut this in half at 4 1/4. And we will have our two pieces that we need. Ta-da. All right, so now we're ready to use our bone folder. Okay, here we go. That lighting looks a little suspect there, doesn't it? Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and burnish all these score lines so that I have nice, even score marks here. And then go ahead and we'll have these so we can just put these together. Now we have one more thing we need to do. If you remember, we have those measurements that we have to make. So we're going to do that next. Oops. All right, here we go. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 pieces here and we're going to get our ruler and get a pencil and we're just going to measure. Now let me see if I can at all, I can never remember if I can like zoom in or not. Doesn't look like it. So, all right. So what you're going to do though, is you're going to take your ruler and you are going to go over to the 1 inch mark here. And you're just going to put a dot right there. And then over on the other side, I'm going to go 1 inch in and put a dot right there. And I'm going to do that on all the sides, all the papers, all the sides. So this is just a little, I would call it labor intensive, I guess. And when you put the dot, you're putting the dot on that first score line. So the first time I did this, I put the dot, I was like, oh, well, that doesn't matter. You know, it can be anywhere. Nope, it's very specific and it has to be on that first score line. And then, and again, you're just coming in from 1 inch on all sides. So be sure when you hop on, say hi. I am enjoying all this nice fall weather. I gotta say, it's been beautiful here in Michigan. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, you guys, is I'm just gonna line up the dot with this first score line here. So I'm just gonna take my pencil and line it up and draw a line. Oops. But I draw the line from all the way, not just to the dot. So I'm going to draw the line from the score line through the dot. And I'm just going to do that all the way around on both pieces of cardstock. And we'll do it on this side. And then, now you conceivably, I've seen other people too, they'll just layer them and then cut them at the same time. I just don't trust myself with that. But that's a time saver. So you might wanna do that. This is not, by the way, a card I would say, oh, I'm gonna make 50 of these for Christmas cards. But they are great if you have nieces, nephews, kids of your own, you know, or just somebody, even somebody that's older that might really enjoy a shaker card. It's just I think it's just a very special card. All right, so there we go. So now we're going to take our scissors and we are just going to chop each one of these off right here on the edge, all the way through. And now you probably could, if you wanted to, you could make a template like this and just do the scoring. And then you could just lay this on top, maybe put a paper clip or something and then use it over and over. That would be, you could do that. The first one I did, I have it actually, not the whole globe piece, but the part that I put together that was all messed up. All right, so maybe if I'm brave, I'll show it to you guys. All right, so here we go. So here are our two pieces. So what you're going to basically do is you're taking this piece and this piece, and you are going to glue them together is what you're going to do. Oops, like this. Sorry. Hello. You're going to glue them together like this. Now, before we do that though, we are going to want to put our globe piece in the middle. And before we do that, we got to get our globe ready. So we're just going to leave these right now over here. We don't need those anymore yet. And we're going to take our globe and we're going to work on that. So we have our window sheet and then two pieces. So now all we're going to do is we're going to put one on the front and one on the back. So we're going to take this, we're going to take some adhesive, and we're just going to go around for the back piece. Okay, so this is for the back. We're just going to go around it, and you want to get the glue kind of close, I guess, to the edge there. Okay, and then we're going to take our window or our globe here, and we're just going to put that on the back. Now you can use tear and tape or anything, you know, any glue that you want. You'll just want something fairly sturdy. And then you're just going to want to make sure you line it up. So I'm going to check the front, make sure I'm not seeing anything stick out, and just make sure it's lined up in the back. That just makes it look a little prettier. You don't have to do this piece, but I do think it makes it look a little nicer. All right, now we're going to take some of this. This is foam adhesive strips. Now you don't have to use these. You can use, you know, something different if you wanted. But I do find these work really nicely for this type of project. But what we're going to do, because we're making it a shaker card, we're going to take one of these strips off. And I think this isn't probably quite enough, but we're just going to take it around the edges. Okay, we're just going to go all the way around. And I think I'm going to need a couple of these. Now you want to take it around the edge, but you don't want it to go, you don't want it to get too close, right? Because we want it to stay, you know, covered up, for lack of a better word. Okay, and we are going to need 2 of these. If I had, I probably should have used the long strip here. I want to make sure I don't have any spots where it can come undone, because then our little shaker guys could get out, and we don't want that. Okay, and I am going to have just enough. Okay, so lesson learned here. I probably should have used, you know, a full, maybe a full sheet, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll just do it this way. Okay, so there we go. So we have that wrapped all the way around. That's all it is. You just take a strip and wrap it all the way around and just push it in. And now I'm just going to remove the top. It's like double-sided. It's thick double-sided tape. And I will tell you, if you have this, you will know, unless you make a boatload of shaker cards, this will last you quite a while. Right now what we're going to use is some of these white loose snowflakes, and we are going to put these right inside of our globe. Now, you don't need too terribly many, but you know, you want enough in there so that if somebody shakes it, you get a little movement. All right, now we're going to take our window sheet and just make sure it's clean of debris, and we are going to lay that right on top. And this gets a little, there's a little bit of static that sometimes happens on those. So we're just going to make sure we get it around enough to where it doesn't, again, kind of stick out on the edges. And then you're just going to press real down firmly. And you can see that that is our shaker piece. Now all we're going to do is take this piece and we're going to put glue around the back, and we're going to just layer that right on top of that window sheet. Now, I will tell you guys, because you're putting adhesive on something that is plastic, oops, it does have a tendency to take a while to dry. So once we do this, we're just going to let it sit just for a minute, but then we can go ahead and put that right on top of our card, or inside of our little pieces here. Okay, so now we're ready to do that. We have a couple other things we're going to add to this, but we can do that after it's glued down. So now what we're going to do is we are basically going to take this and glue it to this middle piece, so that when this is together, like so, we're going to put this piece right here, and our globe stands right there in the middle. That's what we want, right there, just like that. Okay, so we're going to turn it over, and we're just going to put this right on here. And I'm just going to turn it this, I'm just going to fold it in, and that way I'm going to line it up in the middle and just set that right to the edge there. And again, I'm just going to make sure it's sitting nice and straight. Now I'm going to see a little teeny bit of that globe, but I don't want to see too much. So I'm just going to make sure that if I put this in, I am getting a good lined up piece. So I might have to get that to go just a little bit further up so that I can get that second globe, or the second half of this, to line up nice and neat. Let's see here, make sure. Get that go. I think that will stay now. Let's see. Did I get it? Yeah, I think so. I think that will line up there and keep our globe straight. I think so. All right, so that is where we need to put that together. Now we're going to go ahead and adhere our second piece right down. So we're just going to glue this here right on top and get that lined up on both sides. Here we go. And again, we're just going to kind of push down on that. Right. And now what we're going to do, it is a little tight up there, but I think we're going to be okay. Now we're going to take those strips that we had here and we're going to add our designer series paper. Now, the only thing you need to remember about the strips is you want one to have this little score line going this way and the other one to go the other side, okay? Because you need these one on each to actually adhere to the side of this, of these tabs. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and adhere our paper here, our designer paper. So you have one that's larger that's going to go in the middle of each piece. And then you have the smaller ones, which will go on the edges. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere these right now to each one of these squares here. And put those down. This is like the easy, I think this is the easy part, right? It's kind of the easy piece that we need to do, the decorating. All right. So, I sent out an email today. Don't forget that tomorrow is World Card Making Day, right? And so Stampin' Up! Has a free event, and it will be from 4 to 5 Eastern time. It's at 2 p.m. Mountain time. So it's going to be 4 p.m. our time. And you can, I think they're going to show us how to make a couple cards, which is always fun. I don't believe you get the measurements in advance. You can check, but I don't think you do. Sometimes with some of the other events, you do get the measurements in advance, which is always nice. And don't forget as well, kits are on sale up to 30% off. If you guys decide you want to get somebody a kit, now is a wonderful time to do that. All right, so now we have our pieces glued. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take these edges that we have here, and we are going to basically glue those right on to our sides of our box here. We're just going to glue that around. Okay, so the first part is we're going to glue kind of this middle piece on these two edges here. So let's go ahead and we're just going to take this and add adhesive on both of those. Oops, I did not do that very well. And I'm just going to kind of pull that up a little bit. And I'm going to line them up. Oops. And actually, if I do it this way, it's a little bit easier. A little bit better if I do it this way. There we go. And I'm just going to line that tab up so it's right there. Lined up right there on the edge. And these two pieces easily can fold in. And then I'm going to take this side and do the exact same thing. I'm just going to line that right up, right on those 2 tabs, and put that right there on the edge. And I want to make sure, oops, oh, you know what? I think I did that a little, oopsie, sorry about that. I want the bottom piece there, right on the edge. And then the top piece can go actually up a little bit. So we have that ridge. So my bad. So the bottom piece line up exactly, okay? And then the top piece here, I've made a little mess. The top piece, you're just going to have it land right where it lands. Okay, so we're going to have to fix that because I got a little bit of adhesive on it. All right, so the top piece, you're going to want that ridge there. If you guys can see that. So that was my bad. All right, now, so on the other side, let's do this one the way it's supposed to be. The way it's supposed to be done. So this one, again, we're going to put glue on the bottom. And I want to make sure that when I do this, right, because my, oh, you guys, you know, it's so funny. There was a gal who, let's see, yeah, who did this. And when she did it, she was like, oh, I knew I was going to do that. And I thought, oh, she accidentally put it on the wrong side, which is exactly what I just did. Oh, gracious. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a sticky mess here. So I'm just going to put it on the other side. And we're going to put it over there. And then you just fold this down and it's going to hit right where it needs to go. Okay, and we're going to make sure that we get it to the bottom and that these 2 sides easily come up. There we go. So, all right. Now we can put this side on, or did I think I did it incorrectly. I think I just did. So it'll just be upside down. So it's just is what it is. That's okay. We'll move on from here. All right. And then we will just lay that one down. All right. I'm going to get a little wipe because I have a whole bunch of glue on my fingers now. All right. So what happened was, you know how I told you guys the tabs needed to be on the opposite side? Well, that is so the little guy will close. And I just did it the incorrect way. So we're going to have a little bit of a challenge, but you know what? We're going to improvise. I am going to take a small piece here, and we're gonna get it so that it closes. So we're just gonna put a little hidden paper right here, and we're gonna do the same thing so that this, you can see, right, this just needs to bend and catch on this side so they stay together. So that's all right. We'll just do it this way. We'll figure it out. It'll still work. It will still work. I may not be sending it to anyone, but I think the gist of it will be, you know, what's crazy is, so I was at an event and I was like, okay, I got to show everybody how to do this. And, and it's not going to work. This video, I'm going to have to do this video again, but that's okay. That is okay. All right. So all we did was those 2 pieces. You just have to glue the bottom first and then fold the top down, and it will automatically attach. Okay. Oops. So now if I make sure it's all good, if I push it down, you guys will see it's going to just pop. And that's the sound it should actually make. It's kind of funny because my first one I didn't quite do that. So I'm just going to put that down a little more there. Oh, I'm sad because that one came out actually better than the other one I did. All right, so then all you do is you're just gonna pop it. Oops, let's do it this way. You're just gonna pop it up, and there it is. Then you got your little shaker. So sorry for the mix up there. So just remember, when I glued the paper down, I must have moved it or glued on the opposite side. So I didn't have that tab over here to line it up. But isn't that adorable? It's so, I mean, it's so simple to put together. It really is. And when you mail it, you will mail it by pushing it down the other way. And then this fits in an envelope. And of course, you wouldn't have that little blue showing there. So I'll probably have to take a little piece of DSP and put that on. All right, so the other thing we were going to do with this card, and that's in this set, is I have some little berries and some leaves. And I thought that would be perfect. We'll put it in the corner there, and that will be awesome. Oops. All right, so we'll take this and we're just gonna put that right on our side of our globe here, and then we'll add the berries and do the same. All right, there we go. But isn't that adorable, you guys? I love it. I absolutely love it. I love this paper. I think it's so cute. But who wouldn't like this, you know, for a gift, or, you know, a little girl, little boy. And, you know, the other thing is you could take one of those little candle lights and put it right here on the back and get a little light through it as well. That'd be kind of cool. I'll have to try that and take a photo. All right, so that one is done. So that was our first one. This is the first one we did, or that I did, but I actually like this one better outside of our little mistakes, my mistakes. All right, so we're gonna set that off to the side, and now we're going to make a fun fold card. And we have our pieces. So we have a piece of Poppy Parade. It's cut at 4 by 4 1/4 by 11, and it's scored at 2.5 and 5.5. All right, and we're going to make this so it's like an easel card, so it's going to stand up like this. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take these two pieces and we are going to adhere those together. Okay, and then oops, I love this glass mat, and they finally made it available. If you go online, you can buy it, but it is nice. It has got so many nice features where you can stamp on it, you can mix paint on it, and then just wipe it clean. It really is a very nice little tool there. Okay, now we're going to take our piece of white cardstock, and we're actually going to put that on the inside of our card. So this is going to give us an opportunity to have be able to write a note, but it's also going to kind of stick out as well in our easel card. So this literally is 2 score lines and then making a little bump here so that we don't lose some of our product. So now we're going to take this right here, and we are going to punch out a white circle. And we're going to make just a little snow scene here in the middle. So this is just a 2 3/8 punch. And I've already stamped and die cut a couple little a house and a couple trees. And I thought this will be perfect. We'll just use this here, kind of behind, and add it right here to the center. And if we want to make our house look a little more real, we can take our Stampin' Blends here, and we'll just color the door. Oops, kind of off camera. We'll just color the door here a little bit. And then take, this is Light Daffodil Delight. But if you guys ever want to color like a window to make it look like there's light inside, just start and do like a bottom and then half of the other one, the other windows, and it will look like, let me show you, it will look like it's got light inside. It's so small, but I made some cards not too long ago and did this, and it was amazing how what a difference it made. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere these this one tree and the house, and then we're going to do one other little technique just so we can make everything look a little more real on our card here. So we'll move that over, and now we're just going to take a piece of that paper that we just had, and I'm just going to rip it on the edge here. And then I can take it and put it right here along the edge, and I'm just going to adhere it. Oops. Right here. And we're just going to adhere that right down along the edge to kind of make like a little snowy bank. And I'm just going to turn it over, and I can just use my scissors. Now, I could use my punch again at this point too, but I'm just going to take my scissors and go around. The other thing you could do is literally glue it to the back. You could do that too if you didn't want to cut, which I get the not wanting to cut, by the way, because that's not at all my favorite thing to do. But now we have this little snowy bank. And now we're going to take our other tree and we're going to put this up on some dimensionals. Oops. Get some of this out of our way here. Oops. And we'll just put 2 dimensionals on the back here. And then, oops. All right, and we'll put that right here. And then if we wanted to, I thought I had another little piece of white, but you could also take another piece of white and put it down there. But I think for our purposes, we'll just leave it. And now we're going to take it and we're just going to put that right in the center of our card here. And since we already have the other piece on dimensionals, we're going to just leave this flat on our card here. So there we go. We got a nice little centerpiece. Now we're going to take this and we are going to attach it to just the bottom half of this card. So this is our score line here. So I'm actually going to fold it up, and I'm only going to have it go halfway. So I'm going to go right here, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it with my finger there and go all the way up and around. And then I'm just going to lay this right on top of where I put that adhesive. And this is what's going to make our easel card right here. There we go. We're going to let that dry. And while that is drying, we're going to take these layers that we have here. And this is, I think this is just an inch. This is 1 inch by 3 1/4. And then I go down 1/4 on each one. So we're just going to, I'm not going to do the, I'm going to actually, we're going to put some words there on the white piece. So we're going to go ahead and layer these 2. This is Early Espresso and Shaded Spruce. And now we're going to stamp a greeting. And I think we're going to use Season's Greetings. We could also do Let It Snow. That would be another good one to use. And we're just going to get our stamp here. And let's stamp it in, I think we'll use Shaded Spruce. All right, so we're just going to take our ink, and let's move this out of the way. I just see bad things happening, you guys. All right, here we go. So we're going to take this, we're going to turn it around, and we are going to stamp Season's Greetings. And I know this is like really tight, so we'll see if I get it. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right, so there we go. So there's our greeting. And we're just going to go ahead and adhere this and put it right in the center. Now, you're going to need to figure out where exactly we want this to go on our card. So we want it to just kind of be our stopper again, right? So we're going to put it right about there, and we're going to add some dimensionals to the back. Now you can choose to add dimensionals, or you conceivably could just glue it down. Because it has 3 layers, it doesn't absolutely need to be raised up. But this way we'll get a little more, it'll get a little more stability. I don't know if stability is the right word, but I think it will stay a little better for sure. So we're just going to pop that right down in the middle. And now look at that. Our little card, it's going to stay just like that. And we're going to add a couple of these red rhinestones to our card. And we're going to kind of decorate these trees a little bit with those red rhinestones. It kind of looks like a little, it'll look like a little Christmas tree there. And then maybe we put 2, one on each side here, and that will add some nice color. And then we'll add one more to to the tree up here, because it looks, all of a sudden it's looking a little bare there. So I don't know, maybe we'll go right there. All right, you guys, this is our fun fold. I love it. I think it came out really well. So that is that card. You could add some ribbon if you wanted as well. But again, just that's our fun little card there. So we've done our globe, that one. So now the next one we're going to do is our it's going to be our template card that we got out of our sketch card. So let's go ahead and get our book out again. Oops. I have a little mess over here. Okay, so the one we're going to do is just the very first one. It's this one right here. And we're going to go ahead and use some of the Designer Series paper. So we have a piece of Petal Pink, which is one of the colors in the catalog. And we have a piece of Basic Black, which we're going to layer right on. And then we have these 2 squares, 3 by 4, and this one is 2 3/4 by 4. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of layer those down just like our image. And then we have these strips that we're going to use and some twine. So again, we'll stick with the same stamp. Let me clean this, and then we're going to use, we'll just use some basic black, I think, or black memento ink for our greeting. So fun, so fun. Loving. Now I have really inked up these ink pads, so I'm really hoping that they're not too terribly, we'll see. Whenever you use that photopolymer, oops, yeah, that's a little dark. Okay, so we'll just tap once. Oops. Let's see. I just won't push so hard, maybe. We'll try her again. There we go. Okay, that one looks a little better than the other one did. All right. I'll tell you, I get a little crazy when I put on that, when I use the memento refill. I think I go like a little too much. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and adhere all these pieces. So we'll start with this one here. And again, all we're doing is turning it sideways a little bit. But this is an easy card because you can cut all these strips up and then start layering them. And you could send this out and people would love it. It's so festive and colorful. And it's super easy. Doesn't use a lot of supplies. Which is nice, right? There's people, I'm sure you guys have maybe read, but there's some people who are asking people to make cards to give to the people down in the hurricane areas. There's a couple demonstrators that are pulling that together, which I think is super nice. And it's you know, it's not so much, you know, it's just people knowing that someone is thinking about them. But, you know, they said if you wanted to include a gift card or something of that nature. But I thought that was super nice that people are doing that. Okay, so we have our greeting, and we're just going to kind of put that right there on the side. I hate to cover up that little guy's, so I'm going to move it up a little bit, and we'll put it right there, and then we'll just adhere this to our piece of petal pink. And we're going to add a little twine to this card. I have some pretty sparkly ribbon too, but I think we're just going to do this. I think I'm going to double this up, and we'll do some twine, and then I have these really pretty like sparkly gems that I think we'll use. So there we go. So we get our scissors, and there we have it. And we'll put this on with a glue dot. You know, I never knew either when I started just all the different adhesives. You know, when I did scrapbooking, it was like you used a tape runner. That was it. That's all you needed. And some dimensionals if you wanted to pop something up. But that was all there was to it. Now, you got like 5 or 6 things. And they do all have a purpose. I will say that. All right, we're just going to kind of put this right there on the side. And then I have some of these super sparkly, they look like snow. And we're going to put some of those on here. And that will be that. But these are absolutely beautiful. I think they are still available. But they absolutely hold the light. So if you are looking for something that's got some sparkle to it, this would be super, this would be a nice set of gems. They are called iridescent faceted gems, but they are beautiful. All right, so there we go. So look at that. I don't know if you guys can see it. The lighting today is so bad. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get my other light in here tomorrow when we do this all over again. So let me show our 3 projects that we made. So excited. So excited. This was fun. Outside of the little air issue with the, you know, the gluing things incorrectly. But that's all right. That is okay. There's always a way to fix it. All right. So there we go. So there is our fun fold, our template card. And then here is our fun little shaker card. And I love how this like is holding the pop-up. So there you go, guys. Those are our 3 projects. Again, I'll make sure that if you guys are interested in getting the measurements and the template, you just have to place an order. If you're part of my team, you're going to get them automatically. As well as, and tomorrow I'll tell you guys more about just the sign-up special that Stampin' Up! Has. If you're interested in being a hobby demonstrator, or you have a group of friends that maybe you want to get together and buy stuff with, there's a really good deal. So it's a great time to think about maybe becoming part of the community. I have a new little tagline. It's like, join for the discount, stay for the community. And it really is true. It's great opportunity to craft with other people, whether you're close by or far away, doesn't matter, right? All right. I hope you guys enjoyed those projects. I enjoyed showing them to you. And I look forward to us doing this again tomorrow. So thanks much. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.